training. Hey everyone, Dusty here. After having a less than spectacular training day yesterday, I really focused on my recovery and it resulted in today being awesome. So that got me thinking, what are the top 5 things that I do for recovery? So I sat down and made a list and I want to share them with you. I think a lot of things in this list will apply to most people and should be in their top 3 or top 5 things of what they do to recover. But let's get started, and in no particular order. So of course sleep is on the list. That should be a surprise to nobody. Sleep is where we repair our bodies. It's where our body releases growth hormone, which helps to repair muscle damage. Remember, we don't actually get better during the workout, we get better when we're repairing. And the time that we repair the most is during sleep. So for myself, I can keep training for up to 2 to 3 days when I get less than 7 hours of sleep. But after that, I start to get really tired and I just can't perform in my workouts. My magic number is 8 to 9. I'm probably a little bit more than most people. I need slightly more sleep. And when I can get 10, even 11, then I start to perform really good. So if you're an endurance athlete and you are not making sleep a priority, at least a couple of times a week to get caught up, then you might not be racing and training up to your potential. So sleep is number 1. Number 2 is foam rolling and massage. If you know a really good massage or physiotherapist and can afford to see them once a week, that's going to be your best option. But for most people, you're probably only going to make it to the massage therapist maybe once a month, maybe every few weeks. So that's why we foam roll. Now I can foam roll for quite a few months at a time before I need to see a massage therapist, and even then it's usually only because I've gotten lazy with my foam rolling and didn't do it for a few days or even a week, and my muscles are just starting to get tight, and foam rolling isn't going to fix the issue then. I need an actual massage therapist to get in there and break those muscles up and release those knots. Foam rolling can really help to reduce muscle soreness, decrease risk of injury, improve posture, but best of all, it's going to help break down the knots that form in your muscles. So we train and work out and our muscles are working like this, and eventually they'll get stuck together and scar tissue will form. Essentially, this is a knot in your muscle and you need either a massage therapist, a physio, or a foam roller to break that up for you so that your muscles start working good again. So as far as foam rolling goes, I have my favorites. I have this one here. It's from a company called Trigger Point. It's called The Grid. I bought it probably 7 or 8 years ago and I use it almost every day. And then this is the new torture tool I just bought. It's called the R8 roller. It's from a company called Roll Recovery, and essentially you just open it up and slide your muscles through it. You don't even need to spend a whole lot of money with foam rolling. Start with just a tennis ball and put that under your glute or wherever else you have a knot in your body, and just start to roll it out, and hopefully eventually you'll feel the knot release and get some blood flow back into that muscle. So number 1 was sleep, number 2 was foam rolling and massage, number 3 food. So surprise, surprise, food is on the list. Now with food, you could probably make an entire separate list of 5 things on what you should eat and what you should avoid as far as recovery goes and optimizing your training and racing. But for the purpose of this video, I'll keep it pretty general and kind of how I use food for recovery. So first of all, when recovery isn't going good, I'm usually not eating enough, which isn't a bad problem to have. I love eating, so definitely one of the perks of training so much. So food is fuel and you are what you eat, so I try not to put too much garbage in my mouth, but like anyone, I'm not a robot. I like to have my treats, but for the most part I do eat very healthy. I have a lot of fruits, vegetables. I don't eat very much processed food at all, and I can't stress enough, you need to recover after doing your training. You're probably sick of hearing me say this if you've been watching my videos, but you have a 30-minute window after you're done training to refill your glycogen stores and start the repair on your muscles. So how I like to solve this issue is usually I have a smoothie. Almost all of the time I can make it to my house after finishing a workout within that 30 minutes and throw something together in the blender. Usually it's a banana, some frozen fruit, some coconut oil for a healthy fat, protein, which I like to use whey isolate or hemp hearts, and that's it. That's really the basics of what you need post training and post racing to start the recovery process. And when I can't make it to the house to get my post workout smoothie, I will always have a product called Recoverite from Hammer Nutrition, and that's just something I've been using ever since I started triathlon about 8 or 9 years ago, and it's worked great for me, it works great for other people. It has the carbs and protein that you need post-workout to help you recover. And then outside of recovery, post-workout or post-race, I would just recommend that you be mindful of what you're putting in your body. Make sure you're eating enough on those heavy training days. But just remember that food is key. It's the building blocks, and it's literally what helps us to recover. Out of everything that I'm showing you on this list, you won't be living up to your potential 100% if you're not getting enough sleep and if you're not fueling properly. So I would definitely pay attention to those two things, and if you do have any questions on anything nutrition related, I am a culinary nutrition expert, so just send me a message and I'll see if I can help you out. So food was number 3, so let's get on to number 4. 4 is Epsom salt bath. Now, as far as the science behind having an Epsom salt bath, there's a lot of people out there that will debate that the magnesium in the Epsom salts doesn't actually get absorbed through your skin, in which case having an Epsom salt bath for the benefit of magnesium, according to these people, doesn't actually work. I'm not sure whether I believe that or not. The one thing I do believe with Epsom salt baths is it relaxes me, and it relaxes me right before bed, and I usually have a much deeper sleep because of it. I think even just the act of having a nice warm bath before bed is really calming and relaxing and helps put me to sleep a lot better. So whether or not the Epsom salt is a placebo, the placebo works for me, so I'm going to keep doing it. And I usually only have Epsom salt baths after a really big, long training day. And I should say one more thing, I do believe in ice baths. I know there's a lot of haters out there that say ice baths don't work, but I totally believe that they do work. The reason I didn't add it to this list was because I only do it a few times a year, usually after really big epic run sessions or big ride sessions, and that doesn't happen on a weekly or even a monthly basis. So I'm not doing ice baths all the time, probably maybe only 3 or 4 times in the summer, so for that reason I left it off the list. But I do Epsom salt baths probably once a week, and then I do ice baths as well, but that's more so 3 or 4 times, usually in the summer. And last but not least, more training. Now you might be asking yourself, how is more training going to help me recover from training? Well, this is what we call active recovery. And for myself, I'm talking about active recovery later on in the day if you did a hard morning workout. So these workouts are very short for myself. They usually range from 20 to 30 minutes. And they're done at about 60% of my aerobic capacity, and what it helps to do is flush out the lactic acid that's built up in my body. So let's say you're doing a long training run and you're doing 25 to 30K. Well, if you just come home and sit around all day and the next day and not do anything, thinking your body's repairing itself, which it is, you're going to feel very sluggish. Whereas if you hop out for a run or an easy ride later that day, if you did the run early in the morning, and I promise you, you're gonna feel so much better. I've given this flush out or recovery session to quite a few athletes, and they all thought, how is this gonna work? But all of them love it and use it now almost every week. So if you're feeling really sluggish after one of your long or hard workouts, try a flush out run or a flush out ride, and remember to keep it really easy. and you'll be amazed at how much faster your muscles will recover versus if you just sit around doing nothing. So that's it. Those are my 5 tips. Sleeping, very important, of course. Nutrition, food. Without those 2 things, you're just not going to be living up to your potential. The third thing is foam rolling and massage. Massage is great if you get someone who knows what they're doing, especially with athletes, and you can afford it. But foam rolling is a great way to maintain at home. And Epsom salt baths is number 4. The verdict isn't really out whether or not they work, but for myself, I find that they relax me and help me get a good night's sleep. So like I said before, if it's a placebo effect, so be it. Placebo effect works on me as far as Epsom salts go. And then lastly is a flush out workout. That's something I do weekly as well, and it works fantastic. Sometimes if the training load has been really heavy, I'll be too tired to do the flush out run, and that's fine. My body just needs nothing but rest. Like doing a flush out run is just only going to make me more tired. So I hope you might be able to take a couple things away from my list of 5 things that I like to do for recovery. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on everything triathlon.